Okay, what do we do when we're multiplying like terms? So what we're saying here is, let's look at the first one. Now all you really need to know here is, first thing about multiplication, the order. So if we go 2 times 3, which is 6, times 4, which is 24, you get the same answer if we change the order. 3 times 2, oops, try that again. 3 times 2 times 4, that'd still be 24. So the order does not matter. So what that means is we're going to apply that here. I'm going to rearrange this. So what we get is 4a times a. So I'm going to put all the like variables together and I get 2b. Furthermore, I can expand this out to write it as 4a times a times 2 times b. We have two constant parts or numerical parts. So again, I'm going to bring the two numerals out the front, the two numbers. So we end up with this. Now a lot of people can look at this straight away and write the final answer. 4 times 2 is 8. And the only other thing you need to know is powers. So if you have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is repeated multiplication, we write the base here is 3 and we write the power. The power represents how many times you're multiplying. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's 3 to the power of 4. So here we've got a times a, so we can write that as a squared times, and we've got a single b term, so there's nothing more we can do with that. And normally we write the final answer without the multiplication symbols. I put the multiplication symbols in just to remind you that when you see an algebraic expression like this, all the terms, all the factors here are multiplying each other. Okay, let's try this more complex one. Same process. Straight away, there's 3 numbers there, so I'm going to bring them out the front. So I get 7 times negative 6 times negative 2. Then I can see there's an a and there's an a there, so I'm going to bring them out. So write a times a. You'll straight away, hopefully you'll say, oh well, that's a squared. So we can start to simplify here. 7 times 6 is negative 42, and then that's times another negative 2. Don't worry if you want to put more steps in, you don't have to complete everything in one go. And let me just change my highlighted colour. Let's look for other terms there. I've got a yellow. You see we have an x there, and an x there. So x is multiplying itself 3 times. Actually, let me put that up here. And that, well, what's x times x times x? That's repeated multiplication. So we write that as a power. So that's x cubed. We're almost done. There's one final thing. What have we got left? Hopefully you look at that and go, oh, what about the b's? So I'll get a light, I'll get a green. There's a b there, and there's a b there. So let's come over here and write that up. So you notice my approach, my strategy is to write it out, all the like terms, all the like variables together. So we end up with now, what's b times b? That's b squared. Okay, final step, let's write out the answer. Negative 42 times negative 2. If you're not sure, use your calculator, but that's positive 84. That's times by a squared, times by x cubed, times by b squared. And so the final answer is 84 a squared x cubed b squared. Just one small point, the order in which you write your final answer is not really that important. So you could have written also your answer is 84 x cubed a squared b squared. Actually, I suspect a lot of people will write these alphabetically, so you might see it written as a squared b squared, or like the smaller powers first and then the larger power later. So people write it as a squared, b squared, x cubed. I'd accept any of those three. The convention is always to write the numerical part at the front, so don't write something like this. Well, probably won't mark it down, but your communication. So try not to write, a squared 84 x cubed b squared in your final answer. Try to always put the coefficient, the numerical, the coefficient out the front, the 84. Okay, you should go now, have a go from the relevant question from the learning guide. So that's how you simplify terms where you multiply. Actually, let me just move ahead and let's go to a couple. I think there's a couple more here. Okay, so I'll give you a minute. I'll stop the clock. Try the first, let's just try a couple of these. I'll just highlight them. We'll start with that one. Might try this one. And I know they're all very similar. We'll try N. So there's 3. I'll stop the clock when you're ready to check your answers. Come back in and check your answers. You're working. Okay, over to you. I'll just stop the video, pause it, and then I'll come back. When you finish, you can check. Okay, you want to check your answer for part A? Well, all we've got here is we've got 8 times A times B times 3 times C. So I'm going to remember multiplication, we can reorder. So I'm going to rewrite it like this. A times 3 times AB times C. So 8 times 3, 24. And then you're left with A, B, C. And I'll just leave all the multiplication symbols out. So you get 24 A, B, C. When you're ready, stop the video now, try H, and then when you're ready, come back and check your answer. Check your understanding. So again, I'm going to bring the numbers out the front. We've got 4 times 2. Some people might go straight ahead and just write down 8. You don't have to put this intermediate step. But I'm going to put the terms together. I have an A and I have an A. So I've got an A times an A. So that's going to be A squared. I've then got a B and I've got a B. So we get a B times B. So that's repeated multiplication. So I'm going to write B squared. And then what we've got left is a C and a D. So they're not like terms. So I'll just multiply that down, CD. So the final answer will be 8A squared, B squared, C, D. Okay, stop the video. And when you're ready, you can check your answer for N. So again, we have 10. I bring the 7 out. I've got 10 times 7, which is 70. Then we've got times by A, times by, there's an A there, so another A. So that's times by A squared. Next, we've got a B squared times B. Now remember your power rules. Remember what B squared times B is. Actually, I'll write it down here. B squared times B. Well, B squared is just B. It's B times B, and it's times by another B. Repeated multiplication. So in that case, we use power notation to write it in short form as B to the power of 3. So let's write that down. So our final answer is 70A squared, I'll drop the multiplication signs, times B cubed. So that's the final answer. Okay, you should go now try some of these from the textbook. Let's have a look. So if you go to your textbook, if you want to specifically try some of these, I suggest you have a look at this exercise 3.4, and this is question 4. Also, there's some slightly harder ones, question 6. And also, once you've got a good idea and some of the other ideas of division, you might want to try like a reasoning question, question 9. So there's some questions you can try. Don't do every part, just try a few parts, make sure you're understanding it, check your answer, make sure it's correct. Once you've done that, move on to the next demo.